Hi students, morning. Let us now today start and move on to almost the last topic of the unification of Italy and the unification of Britain. Now Britain is of course going to be a pretty unique case, so you are going to understand that how according to Britain means the unification, and you will also come to know the standards followed by the Britain to unify the country. Okay, now this is of course a pretty unique scene, and at the end of course I would like to know your views as in whether this is known as unification or anyway. Okay, so let's start with the word unification of Italy. Now in unification of Italy, they were of course, as you know, that same like the way Germany was, in the same way even Italy was pretty scattered over the part of various the states and various dynasties, multiple languages, multiple dialects of languages, and so on and so forth. So they were scattered over several dynastic states as well as the multinational Habsburg Empire. So you already know this Habsburg Empire. So it was multinational because of course they were ruling over multi-nations, which was later on being united as Italy. In the middle of 19th century, Italy was primarily divided into these 7 states, and please understand this point, only one of the state was actually being ruled and governed by an Italian ruler or an Italian princely state. So if you can see, Italy was being divided into 7 states, and out of those 7 states, only one, which was whom? The Sardinia and Piedmont, okay, the Sardinia Piedmont, and that was being run by a Italy principal or princely house. North Austrian Habsburg, so नॉर्थ के अंदर कौन था? द ऑस्ट्रियन हैब्सबर्ग एम्पायर. सेंट्रल में कौन था? ऑफ कोर्स इट वाज बीइंग रूल्ड बाय द पोप ऑफ कोर्स ऑफ द चर्च, द पोप. सदर्न के अंदर था द बर्बन डायनेस्टी ऑफ द स्पेन. नाउ एज यू कैन सी, in one Italy, under those 3 regions, there were those 3 separate people who were actually being ruling this empire. सबके अंदर उनका कल्चर डिफरेंट था, उनकी डायनेस्टीज अलग अलग थी, उनके अंदर लैंग्वेजेस अलग अलग बोले जाते थे, एंड अब ऐसी कंट्री को यूनाइट करने की जिम्मेदारी आ रही थी. नाउ Giuseppe Mazzini, as we have earlier studied, that he was a revolutionary who formed of course some famous secret societies known as Young Italy, remember. Now so Giuseppe Mazzini, who was a unitary Italian republic, and he actually dreamt about the word unitary Italian republic. उसने बोला मैं जिम्मेदारी लेता हूँ कि मैं पूरी की पूरी इटली को यूनाइटेड करूँगा. And he formed secret societies known as what? The Young Italy. Of course, the failed revolution of 1831 and 1848. Now जब गिसेपी मैज़नी ऑलरेडी फेल हुआ इटली को यूनिफाई करने के अंदर, during the failed revolt of 1831 and 1848, which we have read previously, what happened? Now the entire responsibility of unification of Italy came onto the shoulders of whom? The only princely state, which was whom? The King Emmanuel II. Now King Emmanuel II actually led this front, and he said, no problem, I am still going to lead this Italy into the unified Italy. Now let's see actually what happens. And he decided that finally we have to run now wars, or a full-fledged war against all these countries like the Austria and so on and so forth. Now Chief Minister Cavour, okay, or the Chief Minister Cavour, he was neither a democratic person nor he was a revolutionary, but he had pretty unique style of diplomatic ties. So he associated himself with the France. उन्होंने फ्रांस की हेल्प लिया, फ्रांस के साथ में अलायंस किया, एंड ही डिफीटेड द ऑस्ट्रियन फोर्सेस इन 1859. और 1859 में जो ऑस्ट्रियन फोर्सेस थे उनको इन्होंने डिफीट कर दिया. Giuseppe Garibaldi, the Giuseppe Garibaldi was of course a very famous person, or a very famous revolutionary, or a very famous freedom fighter, and who supported, or who extended their support to whom? To the Giuseppe Mazzini. उसने बोला कि मैं आपका ये जो सपना है कि इटली को यूनिफाई करना है, मैं उसका सपोर्ट करता हूँ, एंड आई विल डू वॉट एवर इट टेक्स टू यूनिफाई इटली. So Giuseppe Garibaldi was a leader, and he, along with his armed supporters or armed volunteers, now went with a huge amount of force, say around 30,000 40,000 के आसपास में ये लोग forces लेके गए in the South Italy, or around 3,000 4,000, क्या number doesn't matter, in South Italy and the kingdom of two Sicilies. So इन्होंने अपना पूरा का पूरा मार्च किया विद द southern states के अंदर in the kingdom of two Sicilies, and he won the support of local peasants. जो वहाँ के local peasants थे, of course they were the sufferers, right? Now when they were the sufferers, they of course supported this particular person known as Giuseppe Garibaldi, and finally they drove out the Spanish ruler, because वहाँ पर स्पेन का उस टाइम पर पूरा का पूरा रूल था और उनको उन्होंने ड्राइव आउट कर दिया. So that means that यहाँ पर Giuseppe Mazzini, जिनके अंडर पे वो जो रूलर चीफ मिनिस्टर थे, दैट वाज मिस्टर कैवर, इन्होंने यहाँ से ऑस्ट्रियन फोर्सेस को रिमूव किया, और द गैरिबल्डी ने किसको रिमूव किया? द स्पेनिश फोर्सेस को. इन 1861 विक्टर इनामुअल II वाज फाइनली डिक्लेयर्ड एज द किंग ऑफ यूनाइटेड इटली. सो किंग ऑफ यूनाइटेड इटली किसको डिक्लेयर किया गया? दैट इज विक्टर इनामुअल II को. ओके, सो विक्टर इमानुएल के अंडर ही ये सारे के सारे इनके मेन लीडर्स थे, विच वाज द कैवियर, द गैरिबल्डी, एंड सो ऑन एंड सो फोर्थ. नाउ लेट्स स्टडी अबाउट द यूनिक केस ऑफ ब्रिटेन, एंड व्हाई इज दिस केस सो यूनिक. नाउ लेट्स ट्राई एंड अंडरस्टैंड. इट वाज अ लॉन्ग ड्रॉन प्रोसेस. It was a long drawn process because there was no upheaval, there was no revolution, there was no freedom movement, nothing was over there. So that is very unique. Okay. Now, no British nation before 18th century. Now, you can understand, guys, that how much amount of progress they have done before 18th century के पहले British पार्लियामेंट का, ब्रिटिशर्स का नाम ही नहीं था. इनफैक्ट ब्रिटिश नेशन ही नहीं था. It was only the monarchical rule. जिस तरह के जो लोग वहाँ पर आकर के रहते थे, दोज वर द इंग्लिश, वेल्श, स्कॉट और द आयरिश. सो दोज वर द काइंड ऑफ एथनिसिटीज और द एथनिक रेसेस जो इनहैबिटेंट्स थे उस पर्टिकुलर जगह के. वहाँ पे कौन कौन थे? इंग्लिश थे, वेल्श, स्कॉट और आयरिश. तो ये केवल वहाँ पर लोग अपनी कम्युनिटी बना करके रहते थे, बट देयर वर नो होल एंड सोल सिंगल पीपल और सिंगल स्टेट. धीरे धीरे आपको मालूम है कि इंग्लिश लोगों का या इंग्लिश स्पीकिंग लोगों का जो पावर था, जो रुतबा था, जो डोमिनियन था, वो धीरे धीरे क्या होना चालू हो गया? इंक्रीज होना चालू हो गया ना. जब ये इंक्रीज होना चालू हो गया तो ऑफकोर्स जब आपकी पावर बढ़ना चालू होती है तो आप अपने आजू बाजू में भी अपना इन्फ्लुएंस चाहते हो, राइट? दैट योर इन्फ्लुएंस शुड ऑल्सो स्प्रेड. ऑफकोर्स आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट इन्फ्लुएंस, आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट इन्फ्लुएंस. सो इंग्लिश पार्लियामेंट सीज्ड पावर फ्रॉम मोनार्की इन 1688. सो जितने भी जो इंग्लिश पावर थी उन लोगों ने 1688 के अंदर इंग्लिश पार्लियामेंट से अपनी पावर क्या करा? ले लिया. मतलब इंग्लिश पार्लियामेंट अब उनका बन चुका है और जो मोनार्की थी वो अप्रूव कर दिया गया. इन 1688 नाउ इंग्लैंड वॉज फाइनली केम एट द सेंटर एंड केम टू बी, एंड ब्रिटेन वॉज फाइनली नाउ फोर्ज्ड. नाउ एक नेशन बनाया गया जिसका नाम दिया गया ब्रिटेन, एंड इट केम टू बी फोर्स्ड बिकॉज इंग्लिश उसके अंदर सेंटर में था. एंड 1688 को उन्होंने क्या किया था? जो भी मोनार्क्स थे उन्होंने अपनी इस पर्टिकुलर रूल को हटा दिया था. 1707, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट ईयर, 1707 एक्ट ऑफ यूनियन वॉज पास्ड. नाउ व्हाट इज दिस एक्ट ऑफ यूनियन? एक्ट ऑफ यूनियन के अंदर इंग्लैंड और स्कॉटलैंड, ओके, सो द स्कॉट्स जहाँ पे लेते थे, दैट पर्टिकुलर लैंड वॉज नोन एज स्कॉटलैंड. सो England and Scotland finally came together under this Act of Union and formed what was known as, at that time was known as, United Kingdom of Great Britain. United Kingdom of Great Britain. Now problem was that English speaking majority was of course over there, and English ने gradually क्या करना start करा? Suppress करना start कर दिया. किसको? The Scots को. Okay. So Scotland's culture was suppressed. स्कॉटिश हाईलैंड पीपल, जो स्कॉटिश हाईलैंड में रहते थे, दे वर नोन एज स्कॉटिश हाईलैंडर्स, एंड दोज वर इवन फॉरबिडन टू स्पीक देयर ओन लैंग्वेज विच वॉज द गैलिक लैंग्वेज। उनको मना कर दिया गया दैट यू आर नॉट सपोज टू स्पीक दिस काइंड ऑफ लैंग्वेज, अदरवाइज हमारी कंट्री यूनाइटेड नहीं हो पाएगी। Now, you can understand that they actually formed a union suppressing whom? Suppressing the Scotland. Then the same fate was actually happened, or the same fate actually also came to whom? The Ireland. Ireland के अंदर दो ग्रुप्स थे। आयरलैंड में कौन लोग रहते थे? आयरिश। So that means that Ireland के अंदर दो अलग अलग ग्रुप्स थे। One was known as Catholic and another was known as Protestants. Remember? Protestants who used to fight against the part of the religion, and they wanted each and everything to be logical, so those were the groups known as Protestants. English, of course the English people helped whom? Helped Protestants. But why on earth would England or English speaking people would try and support the minority tribe which was the Protestants? Because जिस जगह की ये बात कर रहे हैं आयरलैंड की, Ireland was primarily dominated by whom? By the Catholic going people. Okay. So Ireland, which was primarily dominated by the Catholics, now England started helping the Protestants to set up their dominion. Help Protestants of Ireland dominate largely Catholic country. Of course, there was then a failed revolt in the same way जैसे गिसिपी मैज़िनी ने किया था in Italy, ऐसे एक failed revolt किया किसने? The name of this particular gentleman was Mr. Wolfe Tone. Okay, so Mr. Wolfe Tone finally led with Irishmen, and they said that we are not going to behave this kind of repression, or we are not going to support this kind of repression and activities. We want our independent Ireland. In 1798, of course, British forces finally suppressed this, so they could not do anything, and shockingly, now the Great Britain was being what? Formed. United Kingdom was finally formed, and they formed, and of course their flag was what? The flag was known as the Union Jack. Okay, so their flag was known as the Union Jack, and please understand what is their the national anthem? That is God Save Our Noble King. But of course, after the death of the king, or not the death of the king, later on it was changed, and Lord Save Our Queen, but that is after Queen Elizabeth. But that was the national anthem, that is Lord Save Our Noble King. So we will of course write in the history books as Lord Save Our Noble King. Moral of the story is, what do you learn from all this? Why is history so important? History is so important because it actually teaches you some of the very fundamental management lessons. The Britain, the English speaking people were right from the very starting, they believed in divide and rule. Can you see this? Catholic and Protestants. Catholic and Protestants को जानबूझ करके divide किया. Catholic who were the primarily dominant country or primarily dominant community or the ethnic people, and they were being forced to remain quiet, and who actually came over? That was the Protestants. Where? In Ireland. And just imagine what kind of unified Britain are you talking about, where it's being clearly written, and I am not quoting this is what your NCERT books are quoting, that Scotland's culture were suppressed. So imagine the kind of unified country in which one of the culture was being suppressed and the other was forced to be spoken up. And this English, Wales, Scotland and Ireland finally came up to make what was known as the Great Britain. You can understand the kind of greatness actually Britain possessed by suppressing Ireland, also by suppressing the Scotland, and that is known as the Great Britain. So understand that when this kind of country is supposed to follow its colonies or supposed to make its colonies all across the Asia, say for example India, imagine उन्होंने क्या किया होगा. उन्होंने आ करके this particular Hindu and Muslim divide करना start किया, because they always believed, because that was right over there in the culture, to suppress one of the religion and to make sure that the minority try to rule. they actually never ever believed into neither the Protestants nor the Catholics what they were interested in till the time these particular communities are going to get divided or going to remain divided, they will be able to do what? Rule. Shockingly, till now, I'm talking about India because we all are Indians. I mean, whosoever is seeing right now this video might be Indian. Okay, imagine, or even it can be from other countries, we are still believing onto the word religion, caste, color, creed. Who do you think this particular thing is being given by? Britishers. And still, if you can see that two major revolting societies or the communities which are actually in India are the Hindus and the Muslims. Can you now figure out a particular way or a particular resemblance? Catholics and the Protestants, Hindus and the Muslims, and who was prima facie the main person or the main community or the main people who were actually doing this? Trust me, there were no divisions in between India. Of course, India was first of all being divided in terms of various ethnicities, various culture, caste, color, creeds. But never ever has this particular thing happened. Even Portuguese भी थे, मुगल्स भी वहाँ पर आए हुए थे, मतलब इंडिया के अंदर ऐसा नहीं था, उसके पहले कोई रूलर्स थे, बट इतनी ज़्यादा एनिमिटी एक कंट्री के अंदर दो रिलीजन्स के बीच में कभी नहीं आई. कब आई? द ग्रेट ब्रिटेन आया, इंग्लिश स्पीकिंग पीपल आए, इंग्लिश को एक परमानेंट लैंग्वेज बनाना स्टार्ट किया एंड हाइप करना स्टार्ट किया दैट इंग्लिश इज सपोज टू बी वन ऑफ द लैंग्वेज. अंडरस्टैंड, दैट्स अ लैंग्वेज विच इज बीइंग इनहेरिटेड बाय इंडियंस right from the part of some of the rulers who say that their country is known as what? Great Britain. Thank you guys so much for being with me. Now understand please, this is only my perception of what is being written in the board or the book. So that does not mean that कि आप भी वही believe करो जो मैंने यहाँ पर लिखा हुआ है. Of course these all things are written right from the part of NCERT book, but whatever I am saying, that's only my personal perception. So you can feel like whatever you feel like writing in the exams, because history of course is being perceived by n number of people in n number of different ways. Thank you guys so much for being with me. Tomorrow we are going to end up this topic. Let's start today with the topic of mathematics. Bye. See ya.